Hey, what is up, guys? We are here with the Scorpion character breakdown. If you haven't seen our character breakdown videos before, then we cover a character's basic normal, strings, special moves, differences between all their variations, as well as their basic game plan. So Scorpion, he has a couple of different game plans depending on his variation, but the main thing about Scorpion is that he's relatively defensive in the neutral, but he has a really fast teleport, so it's very hard to zone him, and it's very uncomfortable fighting him in the neutral in general, as well as him having a pretty good vortex once he hits you, right? He has overhead and low options that are very tricky to block, and he's just a general all-around character, I guess I would describe him as. But he's definitely a character very good at controlling the neutral, very frustrating to fight against, and he's a really fun character to play. As far as his strings go, the first things I would mention are his back three, which is his low, and his forward four, which is his overhead. So those two moves obviously very important because they lead into, 50-50s with his low and overhead. Very nice. His back two, which is safe on block, and his forward two, which is pretty hard to punish and also a very fast overhead, is those are really great normals as well. But back two has so much range. Really great normal. 2-1-2 is also a pretty good, or 2-1 is actually a really good string for combos, and 2-1-2 in Ninjutsu is really good. 1-2-3 and 1-1-4 are also very good for juggle situations because they are special cancelable, and a 1-1-4 too. And also his down 4 is really good as well, right? It covers a ton of range. It has like this huge massive range. But Scorpion, he's mainly not a character who's playing a ton of footsies, so his normals are mostly used in combos or once you knock somebody down to open somebody up. As far as his special moves go, he has 3 universal ones, right? He has his teleport, which is down back 3. You can also do this in the air, and he has his EX teleport, knocks you up. You can get a neutral jump punch off of it, or like another jump into another teleport, and then combo from it pretty easily. So that is his teleport. You can also do it in the air, as we mentioned. But you can also do a teleport fake. If you didn't see, look at my stamina there. If I hold down, you can fake the teleport, and you can hit a button pretty quick. I'll just try to jump after, and you guys can see how quickly I recover. It's fairly fast, right? It's pretty hard to see that. So you can cancel the teleport with that, as well as holding forward right after you do it, and you will not go off the screen. So you can cancel it in 2 different ways. But basically, you can fake your opponent out, and they'll be like, all right, well, I'm waiting to block, and then you just don't, do the teleport. So then you can hit a button or throw or at advantage, and you can do whatever you want. So teleport, there is this spear, which is back forward 1. You get, your combo after, you get your standing reset after, and in this game, EX Spear is actually safe. Well, it's -5, so technically certain characters can punish it with like reversal special moves, but it's very difficult to punish, which means he can go for his Vortex relatively safely if he has a bar, which is very nice. The other universal move is his takedown, which is back forward 4, looks like that. EX version has a hit armor, does 4% more damage. So those are Scorpion's universal moves. In Hellfire, he gains his, Hellfire, which is down back 2. Looks like that. EX version looks like this. EX version also OTGs. So if your opponent's knocked down, then you can just EX Hellfire on their way up, and it's pretty hard for them to handle that. He also has a Fireball, which is down back 1. Looks like that. You can dash cancel it as well. Even the EX version can be dash canceled. And he can hold it and then let it go as well. So, a lot of mix-ups going on there. EX Fireball looks like that. Doesn't knock down, still high. His Flame Aura, which is down back 4, looks like this. Now, if you're standing next to him when he's got it, it does damage over time, and the EX version of it does even more. But it can also be used in combos. So, like, you can combo into it, and it does that, and you can continue your combo, or you can go for like resets and stuff like that, and you have really lots of plus frames to work with. So, really good move as well. And that's Hellfire Scorpion. You'll notice if you guys watch the Sub-Zero breakdown, that Sub-Zero and Scorpion don't change. They have relatively few special moves, but their variations are very wide. That's the thing about these characters. So their variations are really what changed them a lot. So now we're in Inferno, and Scorpion takes on a pretty different approach. He has these really intricate zoning tools, like these really neat zoning tools that are very strong, right? So he has his down back 4, which is the grab. You can combo off of this. Like, if you're up close, you can get huge damage combos. This variation does a lot of damage and is very good at zoning, but it doesn't have any of the strong normals or Hellfire that the other variation has. So he also has the charge, which is down back 1, comes from behind. The low grab with the EX version looks like that, just lasts a little bit longer. Then this EX version of it does a little bit more, does 5% more. And then there's the down back 2, which is an overhead. So he has this one, which is an overhead. He has this one, which is a low. And he has a mid version. The overhead, the EX1 knocks down, does a little bit extra damage, so that's pretty annoying to deal with, right? This kind of stuff. Yeah, so that is a very, very strong zoning variation of Scorpion, right? Really good for locking you down on your approach. Very annoying to deal with. And he still has those other moves, right? He still has his spear and his takedown and his teleport along with all those other moves. So that's just something you have to keep in mind when playing against him. Let's take a look at his ninjutsu variation. Now this one is the one that is pretty interesting because he doesn't actually gain, if you look at his special moves, he doesn't actually gain any additional new special moves. Everything that this character has is normal. So his back two from before has changed into this. Like this move is massive range, very, very huge hitbox, really good for anti-airing. And yeah, it is unsafe on block. That is one thing. You can space it pretty well though. He also has this forward two, this double hit like that, which is also a very strong move. Pretty good in footsies like that. Great range. It's like minus 10 or 11 on block as well. The other moves he has in ninjutsu, his back four, which looks like this. His sweep is changed and it has a ton of range. Like it's a really, really far. His back 1-2-1 also has the sword attack in it with a little mid strike. He's got his 2-1-2, which is an overhead, which also means 2-1, like his takedown, which is a low, is a mix up right there. He has his back 3-2 forward 2, which looks like this. So that has a little overhead at the end of it. And his forward 4 has a string off of it with the forward 4-2. It's like that. So Scorpion gains all these additional normals and ways to control space with his buttons that he previously didn't have before, right? Like he didn't have the greatest footsies, and that was one of the things I touched on in the start of the video, right? He didn't have anything from this range. Like he didn't have anything that reached to this range. Closest thing was his down 4, which reaches a little closer, but it doesn't lead to anything, right? And now suddenly that is a threat. That is a legitimate threat from a very far range, as well as that, right? That is very far as well. So ninjutsu is all about footsies and staying in there and close-up game. And the other two variations are two different takes on a zoning character. So again, Scorpion, like Sub-Zero, not super complicated, but their variations are pretty wide. So they're very matchup specific. And I think that's a really interesting way to do the character. Not every character is like that. Some characters are pretty much the same in every variation, except for like one move. So like, you know, that changes things. And some characters are completely different in every variation. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff if you guys are interested in Scorpion at all. I mean, he is the poster boy for the game, or one of them. And definitely an interesting character. Definitely someone you're going to run into a lot. So it's pretty interesting to look at them yourself from your perspective and find out new stuff about them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Scorpion character breakdown, and I will see you guys again soon.